morning, guys. We are out in Beverly Hills, and today we're going to be reviewing the Mercedes G-Class. So I figured it'd be a nice day to kind of get out and beautiful. So take out the car and kind of take you around, tell you a little bit about it, tell you what I like, what I don't like. Kind of stay tuned, and I'll show you around and let you know how it is. All right, welcome to the first episode of G-Baller Drives, and you're here with me today in beautiful Southern California. Ooh, that was a nice little Aventador SV that drove by. It is so beautiful out today. The weather is amazing. Sun is shining, and you guys are on board in the Mercedes G-Class today. A video I kind of wanted to put together for a while, just for a couple reasons. I think this is I'm a big fan. Not a lot of people like this truck that are true car enthusiasts, but I'm gonna break away from the mold in that case, and I really like it. I think if you know what you're getting into when you purchase this car, I think you'll be pleasantly happy with it. But if you don't, then you may regret the decision. Personally, I would choose this. I'm gonna say this, I might not be popular for this. I would choose this over a Range Rover any day out of the week. 7 out of 7 days, I'm choosing the G-Class over the Range Rover, and there's a couple reasons for that. This video is going to be kind of like how to live with this car. How is it to drive as a young guy, or really anybody. But I think this truck is something that you can purchase, and you can drive this out of warranty without problem. I would never own a Range Rover out of warranty, and sorry for anybody that I offend, any Range Rover enthusiasts. It's just, I think you would agree with me. I don't even think they would own one out of warranty. So this is a truck that you can kind of buy and have for a long time with no problems. It looks fantastic, and I'll kind of get into some of the things that I like and don't like here in a second. But for just kind of the overall beginning of the video, fantastic vehicle, does everything that I require of it and doesn't complain. This particular G-Class is spec'd out with black, triple black wheels, the AMG wheels, black leather and black exterior, and you'll be seeing shots of that right now. But the truck really commands attention. That's the first thing I'm going to touch on, just because let's get it out of the way. Let's address the elephant in the room. Yes, you will get lots of attention in this vehicle. Something that I found a little bit odd at first, when you come from driving, let's say when you're driving the Huracan, you get absolutely a lot of attention. In this, you almost get as much. It's not the same, but if you're driving around Rodeo like we are right now, if I could show you the reactions, and I think I may have caught some earlier, people just stare, and it's bizarre because for the money, what you pay on this versus what you're paying for a Huracan or an SLS or any other car that's going to command attention, this does a phenomenal job at that. Personally, I don't really like the attention, but I have tints, and it's not like there's anyone important in here anyway. But just if you don't really want people staring, this is not the car for you. I don't know what it is about it. I think a lot of it has to do with the type of people that drive it. There's a lot of celebrities out here that choose this particular truck, and I don't know why they. I think that it's become a status symbol, which to me, this truck is more than that. It's such a fantastically capable vehicle off-road. That's the true purpose of this vehicle, and that's what I was going to touch on. It is practical for city cruising. However, that's not what it's best at. So if that's really all you need, you may want to look at something else like the Range Rover. This is a truck, and it rides like a truck, and I think that that's something I love. This vehicle that I'm sitting in right now in stock trim is like unreal off-road, and I cannot stress that enough. It is fantastic off the road, and people don't know that. There's a lot of G-Classes, probably 90% that you see in LA here are just strictly pavement pounders, and that's fine, that's okay, they do that well, but it's not where the vehicle shines. It is rough. I don't know if you hear the bumps when you hit a bump. It's not the most pleasant ride. But you know, coming from like a sports car guy, I love, you know, when you can feel the road. And I think in an SUV, you're so detached from the road anyway that I don't mind a little bit of a firmer, rougher ride at all. Steering, like I'll show you, you know, I don't know what you're gonna expect from an SUV, but it's just, you know, it is loose, but it is loose. Like, we'll just say it like that. This truck, I really like it. And that's why I wanted to make the video. It's not really reviewed by a lot of people. I think largely in part because it hasn't changed much over the course of its inception, really. You know, you'd be hard pressed if you sat a 2005 or even, let's say, a 2005, 2006 next to a 2013, 14, 15. Would be hard pressed to find too many differences, and maybe the average person, you know, if you're trying to impress a girl or whatever, they might not know that there's a difference at all, if you're into that sort of thing. We'll talk about the looks a little bit. So I believe the inception of the G-Class was somewhere in the late 70s, maybe early 80s, and it's really remained largely unchanged for the most part. This is the 463 chassis, and you know, again, there's not much that's changed. On the outside, I think lights and grills and bumpers and things like that are kind of the only true differences between the years. They have made interior advancements, absolutely. Navigations and kind of like climate controls, things like that. Creature comforts, those have all evolved, but outside of that, you're looking at pretty much the same truck. Which value? Let's talk about value. That, I believe, is the reason why the G-Wagon, the G-Class, holds its value better than, let's say, a Range Rover. When you purchase a Range Rover, you know that they're going to update, facelift the vehicle within a matter of either a few years or, you know, somewhere in that range. So what that means is that you're going to buy a truck, let's say, you know, in 2014 or whatnot, and in 2017 it's going to look outdated a bit. It's not going to be the most current model on the streets. If that's something that you care about, that's one thing to consider. But I also think even if you don't care about the perception of the vehicle, the value is going to be impacted by that, because a G-Class, I feel like, since it's remained largely unchanged, people, you know, are willing to purchase on the second-hand market a vehicle that's a bit older because it still looks modern. What does that do? That keeps the value high. So again, I don't really care about looking like I have the newest this or that, but that's just something that you should keep in mind, is just when you're purchasing an expensive vehicle, whatever it may be, try to minimize your loss and depreciation and things like that. So if you can avoid it, why not? You know, so that's just something to think about. The G-Class does an excellent job of that. So I feel like, you know, you buy one, and depending on where in the price point and year you purchase it, you're gonna lose money on a car. This isn't a special edition. This isn't something that's rare. There's plenty of G-Classes out there, but you're gonna lose less than on a Range Rover, and again, you're gonna lose less in everyday maintenance and repairs, you know. So that's just known. I'm not delivering anything new here. I think even Range Rover enthusiasts are going to tell you the same thing. They're just, you know, they're expensive, and I would not own one out of warranty. Let's see, what haven't I covered? Passenger room. For the driver, I'm about 6'1", and I have plenty of headroom. I've never complained about that. Legroom, wish there was a little bit more, but the reason there's not is because it's actually not that large inside. Outside of the cargo area, it's just kind of, you'd be, by looking at the vehicle from the outside, you would think that there would be more space than there is, and there's really not. So it's good enough. You can fit 5 people comfortably. Those long weekends, you know how they get when you gotta cram people in, and it does fine in that regard, but not the most legroom. I'll say the Range Rover is going to have more legroom for sure. So if that's something, you know, huge to you, check into, you know, the Range Rover. So being young and in a G-Class, how is that? I think a lot of people think I'm an asshole, and they're right. I am a huge asshole. No, I think a lot of people do think there is a bit of a stigma. That was a very cool Defender 90 that just passed. I like that. Love to see those rolling around Beverly Hills, and I'll hope to review one of those for you soon. But don't have one in the stable as of yet, but that'll change. Do have that on the list. Back to the perception. I don't know that if it's just kind of like the typical people that drive it, or if people, you know, like a lot of celebrities, as I said, kind of flock to this vehicle. Don't know if that's why people think, you know, what they do with the truck, or that it's just horrible fuel economy and horrendous in that nature. I don't know what it is, but definitely some people sometimes won't let you over if you need to get over because you're just driving this truck, and if you're in a different car, you know, that doesn't really happen. But you know, fuel economy, let's talk about that. Right now I am averaging 5.9 miles per gallon in this stop and go, very slow moving Beverly Hills traffic. So again, not a great representation, depends on what you're going to do, and I really think I average closer to 10 to 11 miles per gallon when I mix in a little bit of highway. Pure city driving that's not like moving, I'm moving, I don't even know, negative 5 miles an hour right now, you know, you'll probably get 9 miles a gallon, I think. So don't expect any more than that, and you won't be disappointed. My fuel economy in a vehicle like this, at the price point that you're in, I think is a bit laughable. If you're expecting a Prius, don't buy this. Just, it's not going to make sense for you in any sense of the word. So it is what it is, and I think that, you know, it's a big truck, it's heavy, it's going to have bad fuel economy, and I think that's just one of the things that you're going to have to face the facts on and accept it. So you honestly, fuel economy, I guess I would say a tiny bit lack of space depending on the circumstances, and only if you're coming from a larger SUV such as the full-size Range Rover, maybe an Escalade. That's the only thing. Visibility is fantastic. Like I said, you can see out of every angle, no blind spots. If you're coming from a supercar, a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, visibility is going to blow you out of the water. Obviously, it's a box on wheels. How hard is it to make it, have good visibility? Styling is subjective. Of course, some people are going to love it, some people are going to hate it. I happen to love it. I think it's fantastic. I hope they never change it. I think in 2017 they have plans to widen it out just a bit, but largely will just remain unchanged. That's another beautiful spec'd out. This is G65 AMG actually that we just passed here on Rodeo. But yeah, that's it. So really, again, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I want you guys to comment below and tell me what you think. What do you think of the G-Class? Would you drive one every day? Do you drive one every day? How do you feel? I mean, what's the things that annoy you about it? What are the things you love about it? Would you do it again if you could? Let me know below. I'd like to hear your thoughts. It's fun to drive, and it's an SUV. That's so weird, but it's fun to drive this thing. I love it. I love it. So again, let me know what you think, and we'll be in touch.